Hello, SFDC folks. I hope everyone is doing good. And today I have come up with another session of scenario based question for Salesforce developer interview. And yeah, today we'll discuss about another scenario. So today's scenario is like, since I am a frequent interview taker, so I am very precise with my scenario, and the solutions are I provide are very accurate that you can learn to prepare yourself. So today's scenario is like, whenever a new contact is created, its phone field should automatically filled with its associated account phone. So see, suppose when this contact was created, its phone field should automatically be populated with its account phone value. This one. So we have to automate this process in our org that will be asked by the interviewer, and he will specifically ask you to write a trigger to achieve this. And the reason why he will ask you to write a trigger is very simple. He will just need to understand your coding ability and your knowledge to have whether you know the best practices of Salesforce FX trigger, and also to understand how much logical your brain is. So let's get started, and I will just create a new trigger first of all. Let's name it as contact trigger. Select the object as contact. Mhm. Where it is? Here it is. Okay, let's get created. So now, first of all, we have to identify which particular event we should use. So if you have already watched my previous videos, you would have been now known that whenever a trigger is written one object, and we want to update the fields of the same object, then in that case we use before event. Similarly, if the trigger is written on one object, suppose contact, and we want to update the fields of another object, let's say account, then at that time we should use after. And this is very clear, insert, because whenever a contact is inserted, at that time I have to perform the operation. But the most important thing is to identify whether to use before or after. I hope I'm clear. Since here I have to update the fields of the same object on which I'm writing the trigger, then at that time I will use before insert. Okay, cool. Let's proceed. And I hope the scenario is very much clear that whenever a new contact is created, its phone field should automatically populated with its related account, parent account, let's say. Now, the next step is the interviewer will examine your ability to use bulkification. Bulkification is like, we every time this trigger is fired, it doesn't mean only one contact that have been inserted. There can be a scenario where multiple or hundreds of contacts have been inserted all together. Then at that time this trigger should be able to handle all those contacts at a time, and it should be robust enough. So we'll consider that multiple contacts have been inserted at the same time, and this trigger will consider that a list of contacts have been provided to be operated. So what we'll do is, let's create a for loop first, and I will iterate over this newly created contact, and where I will find this new created contact is inside this context called trigger.new. This trigger.new provides me the list of all the contacts that have been inserted in one particular context. Okay. Then what will I do is, now since we want to populate the phone field of contact, that I should fetch from the related accounts, account phone. So for that we have to fetch the account details as well. So we'll create one set where we'll store the ID of this account which are related to these particular contacts only. We'll name this set as ACC IDs, then new set. Why am I doing this? Because I want to collect all the ID of those accounts related to this contact so that I can fetch them in the later point of time. Let's add the ID which can be found inside a contact dot account ID. Okay, I have just stored them. Now I will use the SQL query to fetch the phone fields or other details of my related accounts. So one thing I would like to highlight here, that when I will fetch the account details, I will store them in the map instead of a list. I will let you know why am I doing this. So I will create a map of ID comma account. ID is nothing but the account ID, which is the key of this map, and the value is the entire account object. Let's name it as ACC map, and let's create the instance of the same. Yes, so now whatever I will query, that should be wrapped inside this. I'm basically typecasting because SOQL query will always return the list of records which I'm converting into a map, and that I will let you know why am I converting them into a map. So let's write the SQL query first. Select ID comma name comma and the most important field, which is phone, that we want to use from account where, and now you will understand the purpose of creating that set previously that we created, because we want to fetch only those accounts which are related to our contacts that have fired this trigger. Okay, we have just fetched those account details, stored them in the map. Now what we want to do is we want to update each and every contact and fill the phone value of its related account into its phone field. So let's iterate over the contacts once again. The first time we iterated is to get the account IDs of the related accounts, and then here the most important part of your scenario will happen. Now, what will you assign into this phone field? Let me tell you now why have I created this map instead of list. Suppose if you have used the traditional way of querying and assigning those SQL queries retrieved records into a list. Let's have created a list of account previously with before creating a map, and name it as anything for now, and let's say this one. Although I have the list of accounts already fetched, but how would I know that which particular account relates to this particular contact where I need to feed the phone value? From the list you won't be able to identify which particular account is related to this particular contact. You have to iterate over it again to find out that particular account from here, from inside it. And this is the reason why I created this map, because it is very simple to get the related account of each and every contact directly from the map. What will I do is I will pass the account ID into this map. So as you know, this map contains the ID of the account and as key, and value as the account object itself. Let's use this map to get the associated account of this contact. So what will I pass as key is the account ID of this contact. See, the name of the map dot get, and then in the key we have to pass the ID of that account. Then it will return me the entire account object, and this particular operator will return the entire account object from where I just need to fetch the phone field. See, the phone of the account record will be assigned to the phone field of the contact record. This is done. This was the whole purpose of creating a map instead of list, because we have been able to fetch the account's phone field directly via single line without needing to iterate over a list and then find the appropriate account and then get the phone value. And as we know, since this is a before event trigger, we don't have to explicitly write the update contact of command, because in before event, as we know, we just need to assign a value into the field. Just assignment will update the record, because this is written on contact object and we are updating the same contact record which has triggered this. And since just assigning the value will actually update the value. Okay, cool. Let's go to our contact tab and try to create a new contact. And yeah, let's choose the same account which has a value into phone, its phone field. I'm putting nothing inside this field. We'll just see that it is automatically populated. Okay, it got created, and let's see. Yeah, great. This phone field has been automatically populated with the phone field of the account. This was the purpose of our trigger, and this is how one should write the trigger following all best practices and optimized code. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.